1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the only difference at the end there than in the intro is we play the first tail after the first time through. And then we play both the tails at the end of the chorus, which we did not do in the intro. In the intro we just went. The ending to this one is.
And my part, which is like the, kind of like the lead line for it, you need to emphasize like getting vibrato on that first note. So it's just like. You need to like bend that note, not too much, a little bit subtly, so to give it some like some character, because otherwise it's just boring. It's just. You can see with my face how boring that is. So you need to get some vibrato in there to kind of make it stand out a little bit and have some character. So
basically that's one cycle. It repeats. It goes back into the eighth note part, the verse, and everything repeats, and then we go into the midsection, which is this.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the beginning of the midsection. There's technically 4 different parts, I think, in the midsection. That starts out on 7 and a lot of upstroking. That's basically it. Jeff and I played the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's totally in unison. And I think, when you're descending, it's like there'll be some notes that will fall in an upstroke and some notes that will fall in a downstroke, but it's.
Once again, it's something that we play a little bit differently. Sounds the same, but he does up and down strokes. It's all on the upbeat, so it just kind of keeps me going with the drummer. Because he's just doing blaring double bass during that part, and sometimes the monitor guy doesn't have enough snare in our wedges, and that's the main thing I have to listen to is his crash cymbals just going, he can't follow that. Yeah. And so you really got to listen to the snare drum there to kind of make sure you don't get off. But the snare placement is always on the downbeat, so it's just in the beginning and kind of like halfway through, I try to match it with the drummer in my head. And that's what keeps me from falling out of place.
Yeah. And then the next part, basically, of the midsection it's a kind of a similar.
It's a variation of the first riff.
But it's played on one string versus the first part, which is fifths. It's all fifth power chords, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so that's the second part of the midsection. It uses pretty much the same notes, except it's just a little bit more, muted in places. And then the very first riff, or the first time through, you play it 4 times. But the first time through, the tail is a little bit different than the rest of the tails. The first tail goes like this. Like that. The rest of the tails go like this.
And then the slide too. A lot of times if you have a slide, it just kind of seems like something to do to connect a part together. But the slide is pretty cool because it's like you're going up and then you're going down and then you're going up and you're going down. And basically it's like within reason about try and slide up about 5 frets and then down about 5 frets. We start on 1, and then you kind of just like slide up, and it's like if it's within a half step or so, it's going to sound cool. And even if it's like, you know, guitars are a little bit not perfect, it's going to give it a kind of a chorusy effect, which is cool too, which, you know, doesn't have to be dead perfect.
Or it'll just sound horribly out of tune, but who cares?
And then basically, after that, there's only one more riff, and it's very, very simple. It's, again, it's a little bit, it's different. It's just like...
Yeah, so that'd be the third and, well, I said there were 4 different parts in the midsection. That's the third and fourth part. The fourth part being just a little bit different than on the end.
Yeah, it's just, and again, you're picking, you know, using your left hand to, you know, you're muting on this end, you're muting on this end too. And so it's like when you're picking it, you're playing 5th power chords, and you really want to use your left hand to stop those notes from ringing, to get it sounding really tight. So. So the first part is just 5th power chords, strumming, and, you know, making those notes really like dead stop in between, because you don't want it to be like, this doesn't work. So it's like, it's a part meant to be played really tight, and then the last part is just a chromatic part played on 1 string, and the emphasis is on the upbeat. So it's like... So it's like you're getting that upbeat, you know, a lot of music focus on the downbeat, but it's like that part is, you need that emphasis on the upbeat to make it sound proper.